Max, thanks for joining us at Monaco Live, and great timing because congratulations on your win in Jeddah.
Yeah, thanks so much. It was a very nice moment. You know, first win for DS Penske and myself in only our third race together, and yeah, it was quite special. You know, night race in Jeddah, amazing atmosphere and a really cool weekend.
Yeah, tell us about it, the race itself, because it was very exciting for anybody watching on our end. But what was it like to actually drive that race?
Yeah, it was super cool. I mean, as I said, you know, like these kind of street tracks, but as well being a night race is something really unique. You know, it's a real spectacle for fans and teams and drivers. And yeah, the race itself, you know, it went really well. I started from pole. First half of the race, we stay in the front. But then, yeah, around like the pit stop window, we actually lost a lot of places. After the pit stop, I was back in P9, so that wasn't really going to plan. But yeah, we just stayed calm and yeah, step by step moved forward. And yeah, then at the end, in the last lap, we managed to secure the win with an overtake there against Ollie Rowland, and yeah, very emotional and great moment.
And broke a 17-run winning streak at the same time, right? It was.
Yeah, that's correct. Because in Formula E, you know, it's a lot about energy management, and if you are the leader, then it is very difficult to save a good amount of energy. And this is why now for 17 races, the guy that was starting in pole position, he didn't win the race, but yeah, finally we broke this record.
Well, 2025 is a very interesting year for the race itself. There are quite a few changes coming in, one of which being the Gen3 Evo car. It's being hailed as a major step forward in Formula E, but from your perspective as a driver, what are those biggest improvements in handling, speed, performance?
Yeah, so first of all, visually from outside the car looks a bit different. I think it looks great with the new aerodynamic body kit, but really the biggest difference is underneath. It's the four-wheel drive, which makes a huge impact. On the one hand, you go a lot faster over one lap just because you're getting so much more traction, and this then has a huge impact on the strategy in the race, because everybody has to use the attack mode for 8 minutes in a race. And in the past, often it wasn't so much of an advantage to have it, because always when you activate it, you lose like 1 or 2 seconds.
Right.
But now, these 1 or 2 seconds that you lose activating it, you make up for them like big time with this extra power. And this is why you see so many overtakes now this year with this new tool in the car. As well, we've got new tires this year that they handle differently, and tires are always something really important in racing. So yeah, altogether a lot of changes, pit stops as well, as we said earlier. So yeah, quite a few cool things to address.
Because people who perhaps may not be particularly familiar with Formula E, pit stops is not part of the racing schedule. It's not part of the routine, is it? Why is that?
Yeah, correct. I think, I mean, first of all, it's really great to see the progress of Formula E, of the electric race cars, because what we're doing here in the pit stop is exactly that. We show how in such like short time you can charge the car. You know, it's like in only 30 seconds we charge 10% of the car, which is very significant. And yeah, it's just shows this technology, and at the same time it makes the races even more exciting. And yeah, I think we've seen that in Saudi Arabia.
Well, that's the whole purpose of Formula E, right? It is to show that electric vehicles can be performance vehicles, and this is as much about sustainability in the future as it is about racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the messaging is great. I think it's for sure the most modern racing series at the moment. On top of that, yeah, sustainability is the message that we send to the people, which I think is a very important message. And yeah, then on the performance side, the potential is huge. I mean, you see already now we've got accelerations below 2 seconds from 0 to 100, which is faster
faster than an F1 car.
Yes,
And
correct.
people don't necessarily realise that, right?
Yeah. So, Formula E is. I think there's a bright future ahead. Already now, it's one of the biggest racing championships in the world, and I think it's only going to be better and better in the coming years.
Yeah, absolutely. So, tell us about the energy regeneration, because that's also an important part, right? It's the car gains its energy from the front and the rear motors. How does that influence your strategy as a race car driver then?
Yeah, so basically we have two ways of driving in Formula E. The one is the obvious one, you just try to drive as fast as possible. This is what you do in qualifying. Here, let's say you for sure have a different feeling because it's an electric car. It's very complex to set up the braking system to be comfortable, but it's a more, let's say, traditional way of just driving fast. But then in the race, it's a completely different driving style. We need to drive as efficient as possible during the whole race. What does it mean? We basically all have the same amount of energy available for the whole race. We start with 100% battery, and then if we would drive every lap as fast as possible without saving energy, we would end the race maybe 4 or 5 laps before the end. So we don't have enough energy effectively to finish the race. And this is in purpose because they want us drive efficiently, save energy, and to use it as a strategic tool. So that means basically every lap we basically coast before the corners to save some energy, and then every time we brake we charge the battery, and this is what you call regen, and this is what makes these cars so energy efficient. And that's the driving style. And then obviously in the race you need to very carefully choose the moments when to overtake someone, meaning you use energy, and then as well obviously try to save a lot in moments where you can. And it's really like a nice trade-off. You have to be really smart inside the car. It's a bit like playing chess while driving a super fast race car. Communicate with the team about the strategy, and like this then execute the race.
Tell us about your personal motivation for getting, because you obviously started in karting, like I guess every race car driver does eventually, but what steered you in the direction of Formula E?
So obviously racing became a passion when I was 6 years old, and has always been my dream to become a professional driver. So it's a very long journey until you arrive as a professional, but then it's really a dream coming true. So why did I choose Formula E? I've chosen it because it's a world championship. I think on a competitive side, probably the most competitive championship of all, because almost every team and driver combination can fight for a race win or a podium, which is something you rarely see in other racing categories. And obviously, we get to race on like the most amazing places, cities worldwide. The cars are super fun to drive, very complex and nice to set up. So there is a lot that goes into it on the preparation. And ultimately the performance and the speed that you feel as a Formula E driver when you race through these street circuits.
Yeah, top speed is?
Top speed is like 200, depending on the track, 70, 280 kph.
Yeah.
So this is not that high. I mean, we are used to like much bigger numbers from Formula 1. But as well, our tracks are a lot smaller, shorter straights, and acceleration is actually more important because we race on street circuits usually. So this is the concept of FE. With the Gen 4, obviously, we will make another huge step of speed, and here as well we will see much higher top speeds. So this, I think, will be the biggest step of Formula E to date. But
and when's the Gen 4 due to come out?
Gen 4 is in 1.5 years.
1.5 years.
Yes,
okay. Yeah.
So that's
that's exciting.
That's definitely exciting, and here I think everybody's looking forward to again see what these electric cars are capable, because already now we've got sort of like the fastest acceleration, 0 to 100, but with the next car, we will achieve much more.
Yeah, so exciting. And tell us about these double headers, because these are also an exciting addition to the race. And Monaco is actually having its first double header this year, isn't it? So why, as a racer, how does this change the race weekend for you normally?
Yeah, it's very intense, I would say. A Formula E race day is like really compact, and you start early in the morning at like 7-8 o'clock. There is already your first free practice, then you've got the qualifying just before lunchtime, and then the race in the afternoon. So really everything happens in one day. Usually this is like more stretched out in other championships. And already a single header is intense for this reason, but then the double header is basically the same program twice, and this means obviously low amount of sleep because you finish late on the first race day, analyzing with your team all the learnings from the first day, and then you need to obviously execute it on the second day. So there's a lot of decision making to do in short time, and yeah, it's for us a lot of fun because we get to race 2 times on one weekend, and especially now looking to Monaco, which is my personal highlight of the year, to be able to race here 2 times and to have 2 times the chance to fight for a great result is brilliant.
We'll come back to Monaco in a second, but it is a great opportunity for you to earn a lot of points in one weekend, right? And do you learn a lot from the first race, and then is that a great opportunity then to really take that into the second race and to boost every chance that you have? Excuse the pun.
Yes, that's totally right, and you basically improve session by session, and from race 1 to race 2, but the others do as well. And this is why on the second day actually everything is much tighter than on the first day, and like the smallest margin makes a big difference. So yeah, it doesn't mean that it's easier on the second day.
Yeah. So as I said, Monaco is hosting its first doubleheader this May. So I mean that's fun for us, isn't it? Because do you think it's great for the fans and the spectators as well as for the drivers?
Yeah, it certainly is, because I think Monaco is the highlight of every championship. I mean, it's the highlight of Formula 1 or Formula E, and all of us, we want to be on the podium in Monaco because it's so special with the history here, the legacy, and yeah, just all that already has happened on these famous streets of Monaco. And yeah, I think for everybody it's great to have a double header because yeah, it's the best track of the year, and why not racing it 2 times?
Yeah, why not? Why not indeed? You are actually a resident of Monaco for 5 years, I think you said earlier. So do you have that connection to Monaco and racing on the track? Is it interesting for you to race on the track that A, is so iconic, but B, that you just get to drive on every day?
Yeah, those are exactly the 2 ingredients that make it so special. On the one hand, I've seen all my like former idols racing on this track. You know, I was watching with like big eyes that they are racing through like these famous streets of Monaco, and then doing it yourself for the first time is very special. And I very much remember my first race here in Monaco, and still every year you come back, it's the same feeling again. That is very special. And yeah, for sure, I'm calling it a home race now since 5 years is the other great thing. I get to sleep in my own apartment, have my own breakfast on race day, and then I go racing. So it's pretty cool and special.
Speaking of Monaco, your last team was Maserati MSG, which, as we know, is a Monaco-based with Venturi Racing, formerly Venturi, then Rocket, and then Maserati MSG. But you've You've raced with some iconic teams as well. Do you have a favourite? What was it like jumping ship with Penske?
Well, obviously my favorite is DS Penske, and yeah, I'm extremely happy to be part of this project now, especially because of the the strong vision that is in the team. This is basically the reason why I made the move from Maserati to DS Penske, because yeah, basically there are very strong objectives, and the team, you know, the way how it forms is impressive. There are so many new strong people that are on board since 1 year, and more people to come. You know, the leadership is brilliant, of J Penske and of Phil Charles. They really set up, I think, something very unique in this championship, and yeah, to be a part of this is something that inspires me and that I wanted to really be a part of. Saying that, for sure I've raced for other great teams as well, and it's, you know, part of my personal history, and you know, I was proud to be a Maserati driver, you know, to race for such an iconic Italian brand, and as well, for instance, racing for BMW was in the same way special for me, because it's a German, even Bavarian car brand, and I'm a German and Bavarian driver. So this was at the time as well something very unique. So yeah, surely great memories for me in my F1 career so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it difficult to, I mean, because you are so reliant on your team, obviously, in racing, when you switch teams, is it difficult, like, to get to know your teammates and you know, all the people who are making those really important decisions that are really quite, you know, your life in their hands? Is it difficult to make that transition?
Yeah, certainly it's not easy when you change teams, because at the end everything is changing. Not only the people that you're working with, but as well the car, the systems, the steering wheel. I mean, there is a lot that goes into it. It sounds a lot easier, but actually it takes you some time to fully get up to speed with everything. And yeah, the human relationship is a very important one as well in racing, because you need to blindly trust your engineers. The decision making needs to be spot on, and this under very high stress, in a very high stress environment. And yeah, that's why yeah, I've been spending a lot of time with my new team since August, basically last year, when it got official that I will drive for DS Penske, and yeah, spending lots of time in the factory with the engineers, understanding each other, and yeah, just exchanging about what's ahead of us, and yeah, then yeah, using all these sessions really well to be ready for the race season. And I feel we've had a very good start to the year. Already the first race weekend we were really fast and strong, but surely every weekend you do again together, you learn more, you grow more. And yeah, it's going really well.
Do you have any personal goals that you would like to achieve this particular racing year?
Well, this particular year is easy, because every year I want to drive a better year than the year before, and you know, it's something that really fascinates me about this sport. You know, to constantly become a better version of yourself, to grow, to reflect, and yeah, just to get better. And yeah, this certainly is once again the goal this year. In the mid to long term, for sure my goal is to win the World Championship in Formula E, and yeah, that's the reason why yeah, I'm really happy now to be part of DS Penske, because I really feel I've got yeah, the right team surrounding me to be able to yeah, give it a shot at something bigger than only race wins. And yeah, this is my vision.
And hopefully a Monaco win, perhaps, as well.
That's very true. Yeah, that's certainly on the list. But it's, you know, it's one of these things. Same as winning a World Championship or winning Monaco, you cannot plan to do these things. You can just very much put the process in place and enjoy this process, getting better, doing it, and yeah, then the output is a race win or more than that.
Well, look, we're wishing you absolutely all the best. The next on the schedule is Miami, is
Correct.
it? And it's
yes.
the first time it's been back there in like a long time, isn't it? Because yeah, so that must be fun.
It's
Have you
certainly
raced
fun.
there?
I've never raced there,
Yeah.
but it's going to be as well the home race for my team, DS Penske.
Yeah.
So yeah, motivation for everybody very high, and looking forward to go to Miami.
Absolutely fabulous chatting to you, Max, and yeah, wishing you a fabulous season with Formula E.
Likewise, thank you very much.